AM 860 FM 95.1 KWPC. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here this morning for Moving Forward. In the studio with us, bringing a little bit of information about Potterfest. Jim Elias, Jim Compton, and You Know Who are all in the studio with us here this morning. So we're excited to be talking a little bit about Potterfest and all that's going to be going on with it. And I'll hand it over to Jim. Jim, what's where did the idea for Potterfest really come from?
Well, it started out a couple years ago, right? We one of Jim Compton's students in his film as literature class, which they were studying the Potter films.
Harry Potter books, yeah.
And so this young man enjoyed his time at MCC, and then last year he was in one of Jim's classes, and then he was in one of my classes, a business ethics class, where we have a social impact project. And this young man said, I'd like to do something to say thank you to the college. And he said, let's do something Harry Potter related. And it evolved into a small festival that we had last year. And then Jim and I started talking about we should this year engage more students. And we put together a class. In the fall, it was an honors class, and this spring it's been an independent study class, and we've had literature, business, and drama classes. So the other professor, the David Lane, our theater professor, has been working with us all semester. We have about 20 students in those three classes, and they've been working hard since last fall to plan and organize and put this festival together.
Well, that's really cool. So it all started just from a student. Kind of came up with this whole idea, and then got involved with the teachers, got involved with, got support for it to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it all started last year. Why do you continue to have the fest now that, has that student graduated and moved on?
Yes, he graduated last year. So Jim's been teaching Potter how many years? 3, 4?
Since 2011.
Okay.
So I've been teaching it fairly regularly
7 years.
since 2011.
Yeah. And there's a fair amount of popularity with our students, and the whole concept and topic and theme and popularity of all things Harry Potter, it still continues to grow. And we just thought this would be a great opportunity to have the Potterhead lit students do something that they really love. And from my perspective with business students is to say, hey, a festival is a one-day pop-up business. And so there's lots and lots of work that's going into making this thing a reality on Saturday the 19th. And it's just, we thought this is a great way to keep our students engaged and do something that's not only fun and a lot of hard work, but gives to the community as well.
Excellent. Well, that's really cool, and we're glad. It's interesting. It's interesting just how much draw something like this has, because how old are the books?
The books are 1999. Is that right, Voldemort?
Sounds quite accurate.
Okay, about 1999. Yeah, and it's bizarre to me. It's 2018, and they are still chugging along as far as popularity is concerned. And to play off a little bit of what Jim said earlier, when we had the festival last year, the weather was terrible. It was 38 degrees, and it was pouring. And a lot of the students, and we still got 300-something people in despite that.
Wow.
And
I think Tom here probably was to blame for some of that.
I sent the
For the weather.
Dementors.
Yeah, he did. And thank you very much. But the students
You're quite welcome.
wanted to fight back a little bit, and many of the students that were involved in it last year signed up for these classes so that they would have a full year to work on it, not feel rushed. And then we pushed it back to the 19th so we wouldn't get screwed over by rain.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the other thing that's really pretty cool about that is, graduation was 2 days ago. Finals are wrapping up today, I think. And so the students that are in these classes knew going into it that they're getting an incomplete on their grade until
Until the festival.
the festival is over.
happens.
They have to show.
And so,
Ah.
yeah, so we're going to be spending next week working real hard on all the executional things that we need to be done.
What's that look like? What's some of the executions got to be done? Like prepping the grounds, getting costumes, things like that ready.
Costumes.
Outfits.
Quidditch. The 2 Quidditch pitches need to be painted and decorated, and having the bleachers next to them. We have 2 teams coming out of the University. Actually, it's 2 teams that are combo, University of Iowa and Iowa State. They're going to be playing our Quidditch team. We also have the Madison Elementary School teams playing, and then we're having a Kidditch training session in between. So we need the 2 fields for that. We need. What else we need? We need a lot set up.
Well, we porta potties has been our battle cry for the last couple of months. Make sure we do that. We got to get that lined up. We've tents for vendors and lining up with Hy-Vee for the food catering. Hy-Vee Main Street is catering everything. They're actually setting up Chef Donnie, right? Is
Chef
setting
Donnie,
up a tasting
This
for
afternoon, right?
our team. Yeah, this afternoon.
It had better be delicious.
And what if it's not, Tom?
He will suffer.
we had a trivia event last week to kind of rehearse and practice and see how we would do, and Tom here was one of our hosts for reading the questions, and he had a good time to make sure that nobody enjoyed themselves.
I
They
bet
were
it was
terrible.
terrible. I was going to say it was probably terrifying,
Yes.
the ordeal.
People died.
They did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably the one thing that we're going to have a lot of people working on next week is making wands.
Yes, there'll be a lot of wand making.
We will have Ollivander's wand shop.
He's dead.
We're going to bring him back to life for the festival, and you can kill him again if you want.
Fabulous.
So we'll have lots of wands available for young ones to come and
Great.
acquire their wand.
And they're all getting put together by students
By
ahead of
students.
time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll be handmade.
I mean, fresh from our backyards.
Yeah.
I'm
Straight from our backyards.
hoping you're gonna be able to find some phoenix feathers and unicorn hairs and that kind of thing.
And
to
dragon
mix it.
heartstring.
Dragon heart. There you go.
Get that in there. And we do have a couple of Hagrid-sized wands that we're making
All
with
right.
Hagrid in mind.
Perfect.
So, yeah, we're going
I'm
to try
gonna-
to find the pink umbrella.
The pink umbrella.
Uh-huh.
I don't recognize that. What's that from?
He had his wand snapped when young Voldemort framed him. Go ahead, because this is one of your favorite stories.
So, when I was a youngster, I was in Hogwarts, and there was this giant oaf, Rubius Hagrid. He liked this pet spider he had, and, I framed him for murder. And, he was kicked out quickly.
Wow.
Yeah, they snapped his wand, but he hid it, and he kept it hidden inside a pink umbrella so that he could still perform magic.
I see. Okay. Well,
You will look good with a pink umbrella.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
My grandma's been all about making my outfit. She's getting it all ready for me.
Oh, good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm all set, ready to go. I think the wig's the only thing we're still working on, but other than that, and they were trying to convince me to put extensions in my beard, and I don't know how I feel about that. Putting anything in there.
I don't think it's
It looks pretty
necessary.
good. Yeah, but your beard's pretty. It's a good, impressive beard.
I've been working on it for a long time. You know how hard work beards are. But
I don't have hair.
so you may not know the struggle of growing the beard.
It's been a while.
Voldemort.
Baltimore, yes.
You
Excellent.
will suffer for that one.
I am waiting. Yeah.
Well, it seems like this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, so back to Quidditch. Did you know who ever take part in Quidditch when they were in school?
I was busy.
All right. So never had time to get out on the pitch.
I was planning immortality.
That might take up a little bit of time.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Killing young girls in bathrooms.
Yeah.
So Quidditch. How in the world does Quidditch? How has it come from? How do they keep that going? Like how do you make that, take that out of a book, something where they're flying around on brooms, and turn it into an actual sport?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what the college it was. It was on the East Coast, Northeast Coast. It might come to me while I'm talking. But they started up just a college Quidditch team, and so they came up with the rules. So you have to have a broom. You have to have your hand on the broom at all times, which makes it look interesting while everybody's running around. But so that's,
And you have to have the broom between your legs, right?
Broom has to stay between your legs, and so that's the equivalent of flying. We have the beaters, which are dodgeballs. And so if you get hit with the dodgeball, then you have to pull the broom out, and then you have to run back and touch one of the hoops.
Wow.
And
so like on
that's
like,
mimicking falling off the broom.
Yeah. So like in
air.
Soccer or football or any game where you defend a goal, you have to go back and touch your goal line. So
the three different leveled hoops.
Right. Yeah. We have 3 different leveled hoops.
Cool.
So if for example, a team is about ready to score, and one of the
The beaters?
No,
the chasers?
The guys who get to score.
The chasers.
The chasers. Okay, so a chaser is coming in on the opponent's goal and about ready to score, and if a beater, if it's me, for example, and a beater hits me with the dodgeball, then I'm done.
You're going to drop the quaffle.
Drop the quaffle, which is the goal scoring ball. I have to drop that. I'm telling the story, Tom. So then I have to run all the way to the other end of the pitch before I can get back in the game. So
how many chasers are there?
3.
3. How many beaters?
2.
2. 2 per team. 2 per team.
Per
Gotcha.
team, right.
Yeah.
Then 1 keeper and
Seeker.
and then the seeker. Thank you very much.
Keeper's the goalie.
Yeah, the keeper is the goalie. Right.
Gotcha.
And it's a highly organized sport, which it's kind of a mix between like rugby and it's between rugby and soccer.
Yeah.
Like to a degree, and
With a bit of baseball.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, are there
Much as I don't
bats?
want to, but I would agree with that. The beaters would have, like the regular sport, the beaters would have bats. It's too bad they don't in this, although I think people might get hurt.
I would be fine with that.
The balls are semi-deflated, and they're semi-deflated, so the quaffle is really a volleyball. And the other 2 regular-sized dodgeballs, but they're semi-deflated, so you can grab them with one hand.
Gotcha.
But the sport's been going on for, I believe, over a decade, and there's hundreds of teams worldwide here. And so there's a World Cup in New York, and then there's another World Cup. I watched the video last year. I think it was Canada and France, but don't quote me on it. That we're going up against each other in the finals. But the students get really, really excited, and they get really excited, and they play really hard. And they do get wiped out.
Yeah.
While they're playing.
Yeah. It's when our team started. It was last fall, right? They started doing some practices.
Yeah.
And
The
within
Pearl City Dementors.
the Pearl City Dementors,
Yeah.
within the first few weeks, we had
A shoulder
a
displacement.
and knee boogered up, and so yeah, it's a game that like rugby or hockey. I mean, where they body check each other and knock people around. So it's pretty physical.
Yeah.
And then the broom that they have to ride is that's kind of the great leveler. So somebody is as big and bad as you, Jordan, is playing against a scrawny guy like Tom here. You know,
Would die.
Likely.
yeah,
Falling from great heights, likely.
yeah. So yeah, it's
Well, and what happened? We the very first time we practiced it, year before last, and we were just trying to get the motions down, so we played without brooms first, and so they could just like throw the balls around, and it was just this giant dodgeball fest, and like the big guys were just beaning little people over and over and over again. And then once they put the broom and had to hold on to it, I think it took away a lot of the center of balance, so you had to hold it so you couldn't like put your arm out and then throw. So what happened as soon as they started having the brooms was they were, like Jim said, they were equalized.
And
Yeah, nobody was dominating really at that point, just out of size and strength. It brought a lot more skill into it.
That's
which
cool.
was interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't realize that would happen.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
gotten the chance to actually watch a live Quidditch match before. I've never seen the event itself, so I'm pretty excited to see it.
Yeah, and the players from Iowa State and Iowa are our players are too, but they're into it. I mean, they're very serious about it, and
They travel around the country.
Yeah.
They're driving over to Illinois, going down into Missouri, heading out into like Indiana or Kentucky. And
Well, they
they're
compete
playing.
just like any other sport, right?
Yeah.
It's set. I think would that be set through NAIA, or it would just depend on your school size, wouldn't it? Or is it a different like club sport?
I think it's a
different
club
club
sport.
Okay.
They follow the USQA, so the United States Quidditch Association.
Ah.
So they've actually got that, which is tied somehow to the IQA, the International Quidditch Association.
Okay.
And so they tie together and follow their own rules. Although we are now the sport for Muscatine Community College. So
Really?
Yeah, we should.
That's cool.
yeah.
Wow. So the Quidditch event's going to be going on. Now that's what time is the actual Quidditch?
So
not the kids.
The collegiate Quidditch will start. I think it's about 2 or 2:30. 2:30.
Oh yeah, I see. At 2:30.
And it'll be a round robin. So all the teams will play each other, and then we'll end up with a playoff for a championship. And then the Madison School kids are going to start in the morning, and they have about 50 kids in a Harry Potter reading club, lunch club. Every Wednesday they meet for lunch and read Harry Potter.
Wow.
And then once a month they get together in the gym after school and play Quidditch.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, they will fall.
I went and watched one afternoon, and they're incredible. They were having such a blast, and they had a couple of Lee Jordan style announcers calling the play, and they had a microphone. This little girl, and she's calling it, So it's pretty neat.
That sounds really neat. Now, and this isn't something you normally see. It's going to be, for some folks, might be a little outlandish to come see. But I mean, it sounds like if you're anything like who and you enjoy a little bit of violence, then it might be just the event for you here at the Potterfest.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
All right. Well, so let's talk a little bit more about all the other stuff that's going on, because there's all sorts of things happening. There's different events. There's acts. And there's different vendors to go and see. So let's talk about the acts.
I'm gonna let Jim do that a little more. We have a number of our drama students have written and developed these
Pop-up
skits.
skits that will be appearing throughout the festival at certain times. One, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because we want to leave a little bit of an element of surprise that's out there, but one involves a very key moment for our friend Voldemort here.
It's quite spectacular.
Yeah. And, but yeah, key moments from the stories that people enjoy. So duels between characters, creation moments for characters' personalities, so where people change from like thinking, oh, this is all fun and games, to, oh my God, this is now very serious, and then like vice versa. So I think we've got how many skits put together? 5, 6?
We've got plans for many, but currently 2 are in the production phase. The others are being finished up as we speak.
Yeah. And they'll be done multiple times, like over the course of the...
So if you don't catch one,
Right.
there's a good chance, because
Right.
it'll be at random.
Yes.
Or well, you will have it planned.
Well,
but-
yeah, but it'll feel like it's random. Like
Gotcha.
all of a sudden, just these characters showed up, and now there's a grand fight, or these characters showed up, and now there's an emergency we have to take care of. So, yeah, so they will just kind of appear, and the characters will also be walking around the festival.
Okay.
So, like speaking to people,
Recruiting.
Death Eaters, threatening
So we
people
can-
who won't join.
We can probably identify characters that we know will be there, right?
Bellatrix Lestrange will be there in full regalia. One of the better outfits that we've got going in there. So Bellatrix will be there. Molly Weasley will be there. The Weasley twins will be there.
I'm only going because Harry Potter's going to be there. This is going to be an excellent opportunity.
Yeah, he will be there as well. Wormtail will be there. else is going to be
Cedric
there?
Diggory.
Cedric Diggory will be there. So a lot of the favorites will be there. Dumbledore will be there. Lupin will be there.
I heard Hagrid's coming.
Yeah, we believe Hagrid, that Hagrid will be there. So it'll be pretty well populated with Hermione will be there.
The Weasley twins.
Yeah, and actual twins as the Weasley twins. So it should work out really, really well.
That's pretty
I
cool.
would think. Yeah. It helps having 19 students just on the basis, just like at the basics, because it gives us a lot of people just to start with for this sort of thing. And we don't have to feel as rushed as we did last year. Yeah.
Right. What? So for these skits, is it? Did each person choose their character individually, or like the Weasley twins, it's a good fit for them? So, and then did others just decide? Oh, I think this would be a cool one that can be personified.
Yeah. What I did last semester, and this was part of the lit class's job, was I assigned the lit students to find areas of the books that could be converted into skits and how they would do it. So they looked at the dialogue in the books, and then they had to adapt that to follow like a small little play. And so they kind of chose their favorites is where that came from. And then this semester in the beginning, the drama students joined in because they weren't there in the fall.
Right.
So it was lit in business in the fall. And so the drama students joined in the spring. The lit students worked with the drama students. And so the drama class, part of it was volunteering for characters. Part of it was, we need this character, will you step in? So some people didn't get exactly what they wanted. But it's kind of how things work. And then the script writers oversaw it as the script, which naturally has to happen, changes to fit both what people can memorize and to make it dramatic as opposed to something that you're reading. And so it evolved. And I kind of like that whole concept. So we got the concept behind it in the basic story, and then they executed it and turned it into a play.
The lit students saw fit to incorporate their vision into the skits, and the drama students brought a level of reality to it.
I see.
Yeah.
This sort of thing just isn't practical, but we can do this. Things such as that.
Interesting. So what? How excited are you guys to be for this to finally be coming to fruition?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited, and I'm really nervous, but it's a healthy nervous, I think, because there is a lot that needs to be still literally carved out.
Yes.
Between now and a week from Friday.
Yes, the
tomorrow.
18th. So yeah, we need to talk a little bit about the welcoming feast on Friday the 18th, and that's something that I guess when we were initially planning last fall, it really wasn't an idea that we had, and as the Merrill Hotel got closer to opening, and we got to saying, well, we should have a banquet, and then we had seen how spectacular the Merrill's ballroom is, and
It is nice.
they liked
Really nice.
the idea, so they're thrilled with it.
Great.
So we're having a welcoming feast that will transform the grand ballroom into the Great Hall
In Hogwarts.
at Hogwarts, and the faculty and Dumbledore will be there to give the traditional welcome, and I'm afraid that we're not going to be able to keep Tom away. I mean,
They will
he's-
try.
He's really not welcome, but I'm afraid he'll be there.
Well, and there may well be an appearance by Umbridge too
Yes,
at the same time. So that's entirely
and we have a
possible.
giant sorting hat that one of our students will sit in,
Become.
and as people show up to say, here's my ticket, my name is Bob, and they say, well, hi Bob, and you're at table 12, and then the sorting hat will sort Bob into whatever house he belongs.
Yeah, and the tables should be, I think, set up like the house tables in the movies
Cool.
and in the book. So
Very
you're
cool.
sitting in like it's sitting in house rows.
Now you're gonna be able to mimic the floating candles at the.
We pulled that off at the trivia event.
Yeah.
Jasmine Velasco pulled that off
Yes.
by making like artificial candles that I thought she was going to string them from the ceiling, but it turned out that she had attached to the walls so that when the lights dimmed, it did look like they were floating candles.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I don't know if we're going to be able to do that at the brand new Sparkly Merrill.
Yes.
But we do have some
It's a beautiful venue already.
yeah, and we have some decoration ideas that we've tested out that will add a little bit of Hogwarts magic to it, I think. So
What's the purpose behind the evening feast beforehand? Is that fundraising?
Partly.
it's partly
Or
fundraising.
it's just part of the event.
And to kick off the event.
Gotcha.
And so the event on Saturday, the festival, is free to the public, and so obviously we have to find some ways to make sure we can cover those costs. But we also wanted to have an event that was maybe a little more closed, a little more of an intimate kind of experience for hardcore Potterheads.
And I think they like the idea of making it like a multiple day because it made the event seem more eventful, made it seem more significant. And one thing about playing with any sort of like an academic, like a college project, is whatever ideas are tossed out or thrown out by the students, like they can't all happen, but they're all entertained seriously to see like what can occur, because again, had that student before, had Thomas not suggested this, we may never have done it at all.
Right.
And as chaotic as that one was, because we were kind of rushing through it and it wasn't a formal class, ultimately it can turn into something really good, like we're hoping the festival turns into on the 19th. And so when the idea was batted around about a welcoming feast, we gave it its due, and then it eventually did turn into something that could play out.
And that's an opportunity for our lit and drama students to, in a more controlled venue, to really perform, perform the pop-up skits, and the feast goers can certainly expect Fred and George, is that right? Weasley, to just show up and hey, that's mine, and take it off somebody's plate, and because that's what the Weasley twins do, and I think our Weasley twins will play that quite well.
Yeah, they'll play it to the hilt.
Excellent. Well, I'm pretty excited. I'm really glad you guys asked me to be a part of this because I'm getting pretty excited. I was a big. I wouldn't call myself a Potterhead, but I read all the books, watched all the movies. I love the series. It counts.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing that you don't really see very often. It's not, and that's not something you may expect from a community like Muscatine to have a big draw like this.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the students too, they have a feeling about themselves which they're unfair to themselves a lot of times, and that I'm in a little community college. I'm going to take these classes, then I'm going to go someplace else, and I'm going to get a chance to do something impressive like while they're here. And they're smart, they're talented, they're strange, and they can manage to do some really, really good things if given the opportunity.
And for our students then, that whether they are transferring on to a larger four-year college or university, or they're done at MCC and they need to go out and get in the workforce, this event is a tremendous portfolio resume piece.
Being a part of these, they look at that.
Yep.
They might not get another chance to do something like this either, because this is.
Yeah, how many times, Tom, do you get a chance to make your magic in front of the whole town?
I do that every day.
Well,
he's great. We're not even going to make him smile, are we?
You can try.
He only smiles when he kills.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. If I see him smiling, I'll be sure to look the other way.
Yes.
Well, this sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited that we're gonna. I expect. It's supposed to be beautiful weather. This, as far as I can tell, the week out forecast that we've seen. So should be beautiful weather. Plus the Friday night, that'll be at the Barrel Hotel for the. Where was it? Did you guys have the evening before event last year?
We did not. No.
You know, so this is the first time, so
Yes.
it's gonna be in the
Yes.
Barrel.
Yes.
Can't beat it.
And we have people. Well, we've got people from Quad Cities for sure already signed up to come to the welcoming feast.
Right.
But for the festival, we've got a wristband sign up, which is just a simple little Google Forms, and we've got somebody is coming from. What's the name of the city?
I don't remember. I just remember it's
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Louisiana and Missouri. We have our butterbeer vendor is coming from Omaha.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if he's going to be here the night before.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of excited about that. A lot of the students are excited by that
Yeah.
too, because he's selling them in bottles. So it's like
Oh,
in the
cool.
books or the movies, right? Yeah. So as opposed to having to drink them out of like a glass, like people make them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like for a party, but they actually get to dust off the bottle and walk around with it.
It's a delicious butterscotch taste.
I'm looking for. I haven't got to try it yet. I've heard about it, but I've never had the chance. And you see stuff like that, and I guess that's kind of where the draw for like Quidditch or any part of that comes from. Is you get to read about it in the book, but you don't get to experience it.
Right.
Well, here's an opportunity to experience it. So.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Hopefully, there will be a lot. I'm sure there will be a lot of students and younger kids that'll be interested in coming to the event. Bring their parents. I mean, I know a lot of older folks too that have read the books, love them.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I know my I can't think of my aunt and uncle. They love the books, and we talk about it all the time. Or like I went and saw the movies with them when I was younger, that kind of thing.
Oh,
So
that's true. Yeah.
so we'll hopefully see a big draw, a big turnout for all of this that's going to be happening. I know there's a whole bunch more going on, and I'm sure we'd love to talk about it. But what's the most important thing for everybody to know about Potterfest that's coming up?
Come in costume if you want to.
come in costume
That'd be fantastic. So yeah.
to
So,
come.
you don't have to, but feel free.
I've never seen anything like it.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say as far as being able to
Eat plenty of food.
stay up to
Yeah.
date as to developments over the next few days. Either find us on Facebook at Spring Potterfest or go to the college website, and that's eicc.edu/springpotterfest. And
Folks can get a full itinerary.
Right.
Yep, they can
And
get
then
the information
dinner
there.
sign up if you want to buy the tickets for the dinner. That's through Eventbrite.
Yep.
That's
And there's a
Eventbrite,
link on our website.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, with Facebook, there's a link to the wristband sign up.
Is there a cutoff date for when tickets can be bought for the welcoming feast?
I think we're looking at Wednesday. Is that the 15th? I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something
or
like that.
18th. Would it be the 16th? No, it'd be the 16th, wouldn't it? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
yes,
Friday's
yes,
the
you're
18th.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty excited. I think I've said that a couple times. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
excited about it. I mean, Jim Elias here asked me mid-interview the other week if I wanted to be a part of this. Caught me right on the spot, on
Well,
air.
that beard is shaking in as he's talking. I said, "There's Hagrid right there, right?"
Again, I certainly couldn't turn him down because, but I'm glad that we're going to be able to do this and that
Yeah.
that we're going to get to be part of it. Hopefully, Alex Hughes, one of the other guys here in the Voice Mess team, he'd like to show up as well and be in costume, be a part of it. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for involving us.
Yeah.
And thanks for putting it on.
You bet. Thanks for having us.
I don't know if I
yeah.
want to say thanks to who over here, but appreciate him stopping by. I suppose.
You know, we got control of Tom. He's not as bad as he thinks he is.
You like to think that, wouldn't you?
I'm gonna be glancing over my shoulder a lot at the event.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. So,
Well, it's been a real pleasure. This has been moving forward, talking a little bit about Spring Potter Fest. It's going to be happening May 18th and 19th here in Muscatine. You can show up in costume, you can show up as is, and there's going to be a big the outdoor events all on the 19th, and coming up on before Wednesday. It's looking like to be
Right.
able to get tickets to the feast for the night before.
Right.
So be sure to check it all out. You can check them out on Facebook, everything like that. That way we can get a hold of everybody that can come. We'll be able to come. So.
yeah.
All right. As always, Jim Elias, it's always a pleasure getting to talk to you. It was nice
Thanks,
to meet
Jordan.
you too as well to
Thank you.
come in here and have you speak and tell us a little bit about this event that's coming up. This has been Moving Forward on AM 860 and FM 95.1 KWPC and thevoiceofmuscatine.com.